The 48 Laws of Power, a summary and shadow commentary by Seth Czerepak, based on his book, Awaken Your Shadow. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Your enemy shows you the knife, your friend shows you the smile, only one of them is lying. By Seth Czerepak.
Somewhere behind you there is a name you do not say anymore, not an enemy. Enemies are easy to name. A friend, someone who knew the back rooms of your life, who ate at your table, who carried your secrets. And then one day in an office or a text message or a courtroom or a silence that never ended, you found out what they had been carrying instead. If you have lived long enough to be listening to this, you have the name. Hold it gently. We will need it. The law in pure cliff notes. Never put too much trust in friends. They betray more quickly than enemies because friendship breeds the very things that make betrayal easy. Envy first. Your rise is a quiet accusation against a friend standing still, and he cannot say so, so it goes underground. Entitlement, second. The friend hired, favored, or gifted comes to believe he earned by loyalty what he was given by love, and the gift becomes a debt you owe him. And familiarity, third. A friend knows exactly where the soft places are. Meanwhile, says Greene, the enemy you spare has more to prove than any friend ever will. He works harder for you because he cannot afford to be casual. Keep your friends for friendship, the law concludes, but work with the able and the hungry. If anything, fear your friends first. Cold, is it not? And yet you flinched, because some part of you has already paid the tuition on this one. So let us do what this series does and ask the question Greene never asks. Why? Why does the friend betray what the enemy protects? Jung has the answer, and it lives in the machinery of projection. You do not see your friends. Not clearly. You see what you need them to be. Onto the people we love, we project our own gold, the best of ourselves, the loyalty we intend, the goodness we hope for, and then we relate to the projection instead of the person. That is why the betrayal of a friend feels like losing a limb. You are not only losing them, you are losing the part of yourself you had stored in them for safekeeping. And while you are projecting your gold onto him, your friend is running the same machinery in the dark. Friendship has a persona, a mask it is required to wear. The mask smiles. The mask celebrates your win. The mask says it is happy for you. And every honest, ugly human thing the mask is forbidden to say, envy, resentment, the sting of being outpaced, drops down into the shadow where it does not die. Nothing you bury dies. In my book, Awaken Your Shadow, I wrote about resentment as a prosecutor. It is swallowed truth, and swallowed truth does not dissolve. It builds a case. Every favor that felt like an insult, every win of yours that landed like a verdict on him, goes into the file. And the day the case is strong enough, the friend does not feel like a traitor. He feels like a man finally serving justice. That is why he can smile at your table for years and still strike. In his courtroom, he is the honest one. Now look at the enemy through the same lens, and Greene's strangest advice starts to make sense. The enemy relationship is the only one with no mask. Nothing is repressed, so nothing is building in the dark. His opposition is on the table, conscious declared. When an enemy comes to terms with you, he does it with his eyes open and something to prove, and what is conscious can be negotiated. What is buried can only erupt. The enemy is not safer because he is better than your friend. He is safer because he is more honest than your friend's shadow, And there is a second gift in the enemy, one Greene walks right past. Jung taught that the person who enrages you is holding a mirror. Your enemy sees your shadow better than your friends do because he has no investment in your mask. His accusations are wrong in spirit and, more often than you would like, half right in content. The friend protects your persona. The enemy, without meaning to, introduces you to your shadow. Used consciously, he is not just an ally with something to prove. He is intelligence no friend will ever give you. So what do we do with this law? Because I can hear the two wrong answers forming already, and they are both the same exile in different clothes. The deficit answer is the one you may have already tried. Trust no one. Build the fortress. Love no one enough to be struck by them. It feels like wisdom, and it is just fear wearing wisdom's coat, and the fortress keeps nothing out. It only seals you in with the one person whose shadow you have not faced. And the counterfeit answer is the old one, the naive one, trusting blindly and calling it loyalty, needing your friends to be all gold so that you never have to meet what is buried in them or in you. That is not love. That is projection with a guest list. Integration is the third way, and it is harder and quieter than both. See people whole. Love your friend and know that he carries a shadow as you do. Stop feeding the mask. Make your friendships into rooms where the unsayable can be said, where envy can be confessed before it becomes evidence, where your win can land as a wound and you can talk about it out loud. A friendship that can hold that conversation is worth the word. A friendship that cannot is already in the file room building its case. And extend the same whole sight to your enemies, because the man who opposes you with open eyes may be carrying truer information about you than the man who applauds. Trust then, but trust the way the integrated do, not as a gamble on someone else's goodness, as a discipline of your own sight. Here is your question for this law. Somewhere in your life right now, there is a truth you are swallowing to keep a friendship warm, or a friend who is swallowing one to stay at your table. Find it this week and say it or invite it before it learns to testify. This law does not ask you to love less. It asks you to see more. And when you can hold the whole of a person, the gold and the shadow together, you will finally have something worthy of the word friendship. That is the work. Walk it with your eyes open.
End of Law 2 of the 48 Laws of Power, a summary and shadow commentary by Seth Czerepak, based on his book Awaken Your Shadow. Law 3 waits, the law of concealment, and the transparent soul that begs the world to strike first. Come forward.